Hey everyone, welcome back. This is TJ, and this is another Subby Dev Log. This should be episode 1 in the series. The first one was episode 0. And in this episode, we're going to get the project started, get some old code imported, and start getting some assets made and get the project going. Let's jump into Unity and get this thing started. as you can see through the time lapse, we've gotten some things added to the game. I wanted to stop right here and butt in and give an update on what's going on. Uh, what I've done here, I know there's an error. I was trying to plan out the code that I was working on, but added in some classes for scriptable objects. And the plan here is to make these shop items to where you can buy a new cargo bay, a new engine, upgraded hull. All of the life is going to be scriptable objects, so it's real easy to manage. Possibly add a shield to the submarine. And then if we go up a level, you can see I've got classes for everything. Jumping to the code, let's see here. You probably saw me pull this up. This is using the Draw.io plugin for VS Code. It's a nice little tool to let you mock up UML diagrams and keep track of what's linked to what. And it's just kind of a nice mental model of what's going on here. So you can see I've got this Subby controller, player's child of that, and then the player's got an inventory. And as soon as I made this little cargo bay up here, that's when I decided to start adding in all the scriptable objects. So we'll see how it goes from there. I'll check back in a little bit. All right, so since we last stopped and paused to talk, I've added in several different scriptable objects to our inventory. I might actually move these around to somewhere else, but this is where it makes sense at the moment. We've got a shield, a fuel tank, the engine, the whole cargo bay, and calculating how to add life to our inventory. So I'm storing all of the active life that we've collected in a list, and then we're updating current weight, current value, and subtracting the current weight and current value as needed. So we're caching these values to be a little bit more performant, especially if we're running this on mobile. We don't have to recalculate anytime we want to access these values. And then changed up this just ever so slightly. I decided to move or get rid of the scriptable object definition over here for the cargo bay. It's all kind of straightforward for what it is. And I've got all the classes here in scriptable objects. I'm not too worried about having them in the diagram, but I've got them listed right here so I know what's what. But yeah, we made some good progress. I'm gonna keep going and see how far we can get. Alright, so I think this is gonna about wrap it up for this devlog. A couple last things that I've done on this is I've added in kind of template stuff for the sub upgrade shop. We've got the life spawner, the life exchange, where one would go to exchange life for currency. There's a fuel station to refuel your submarine, and I think that's about it. The other thing I've done is over here in resources and scriptables. Uh, I went through and made it to where I can go create and then have a spot for Subby, and I can add in different scriptable objects so we can create these on the fly as needed. Cargo bay, for example, we've got the max cargo weight, the upgrade cost, the name of it, a description, and sprite when we get to that point. I've done that for all of these. So engine has horsepower, the fuel tank has max fuel, the hull has max health, and the max depth that you can go. So if you go down too far, then the submarine's going to start taking damage. And so you have to stay above a certain depth threshold before you can go further down based on your hull. So I think that's going to make a nice little challenge to the game and encourages the player to go through and upgrade. And yeah, so that wraps it up for Devlog 1. I guess 2, but it's number 1 rather than 0. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I think this next devlog we're going to be getting into trying to spawn some life and collecting it and going from there. Probably get player movement in too. Until the next one, happy coding. TJ out.